CMD in the project folder. After that, you can write there code space dot press enter key. CMD VS Code should get open. Last year, longer than expected. Visual Studio open. It's going on somewhere. Okay. Next, after that, you can write here npm start. npm start. npm start. Answer. Yeah. Compiled successfully. Start. Okay, by then you can create another file, React.js developer guide. In that same folder, which folder? Project folder we have no here. Outside of the project one folder, here you can create a file, React.js developer guide. React.js developer guide. React.js developer guide. Now after that, come to the developer guide. In this developer guide, we will be making the notes, how we should write, what we should write, where we should write, everything. Okay, so compilation is done for me also. Let me go to the browser. Localhost 3000. If people ask what is the default port number of React.js, you can say the default port number of React is 3000. If anyone asks, like, can you change the port number? We can say yes, we can change the port. You see here, localhost colon 3000. So 3000 is the port number. Port, PORT, yes. Every server will have one port number. Like PHP will run on different port number, Java have different port number, Angular have different port number, Node.js have different port number. Similar way, React has different port number. So React port number, default port number is 3000. Okay. Now come. Go to your VS Code. Under the VS Code, click on SRC folder. In that, you will find some certain files are there. You have one folder called Node Modules. Node Modules, it is the library where all the libraries are stored. Under which folder? Node Modules. Node Modules is the folder where all the libraries are stored. Whichever the library we require to develop a React project, all the library has downloaded when you have set up the project yesterday. While the setup time of the project, you can say this node modules folder will download. Because of that, it has consumed 1 GB plus. 1 GB plus has consumed to download this folders, node modules folder. If you want to see under the node modules folder, go here and see multi-hundred files and folder will be there. See how many files and folder? So many. These all file and folders are required to develop the project in React. These all files and folders are required to develop the project in React. So in that, all the whichever is downloaded, all are called as a modules, all are called as a library. It's a different module, but all you can say consider as a library. All the library will store in one place. That is your node modules. Under the node modules, all the library will be stored, and according to our need, we will call the library from the node modules, and we will use inside the project. Now public folder, what we have inside the public folder, you can store some JSON file, you can store some image file, you can store some JavaScript file. You can store here not JavaScript file, text file, any image file, any JSON file, we can store under this folder. That is called public folder. I have already kept some photos. Now we have another folder called SRC folder. SRC folder is the main folder. Inside the SRC folder only, you are going to write all the codes, and SRC is the development folder. You are going to develop the everything under this folder only. That is called SRC folder. Okay. Now this SRC folder is going to work in the very no, you can say SRC will hold everything. Everything in the sense everything. All your source code, HTML, CSS, all you can keep under the SRC folder. Now come to the your SRC folder, and you have a file called app.js file. Click on that. Click on that app.js file, and whatever the code is written, delete everything, and just write one line. Write this much of code. You have a function. Inside the function, many things are written. Delete everything and just write one line, welcome React. Delete everything and just write one line, welcome React. Modify everything. Modified everything. Deleted. Deleted. Now what? Welcome React. Save the file. Come to the browser. You will see automatically welcome React will come there. Same. The live server was running automatically. As soon as you modify the code, your page become reload automatically in the browser because of that live server. React live server is running. Based on that, your page will get reload automatically once you modify the code. Hope no error and your page is loaded. Okay, ready. After that, so you have written H1 and it is working well. It is working well here. It says welcome React. I think I have written one CSS. Hold on. Let me remove that CSS margin top. Anywhere I have written? Nothing I have written. Okay, no problem. So your app.js file you have written welcome and it is working well also. Now after that, after the H1, come down below, write a paragraph, write inside inside React is awesome. React is awesome. React is awesome written. Now check in browser, it will throw the error. If you reload the page, it will show you one very good error. Something like this. So now question is, when H1 was there, no any problem. When we written the paragraph, then it's showing the error. This becomes something mix up or not? Here it's happening. You have run the npm start. So from here reload is happening. The separate server is running now, not from the BSM. See this error came, it says like when we wrote one H1, then it was okay. When we wrote the paragraph, then became the problem. That is the rule of the JSX. Your React JS is written in JSX. JSX. So React JS is like when we use one H1 was okay. More than one element once used, it should follow some certain rule regulation. And since you are not following the rule regulation, because of that there is the error. Okay. So what is that rule regulation? If you have one tag, then no problem. If you have more than one tag, you have to keep inside the parent tag. Now open the div in the beginning and close the div after this. Div is open, cut that and paste the same div after this. Okay, without div it was throwing the error. Now once you put under the div, then it will work. Okay. Now remember in React, whenever you use only one tag, then no need to follow any parent tag. But once you use more than one tag, then you have to keep inside the parent tag. So what we have used now, we use as a H1 and paragraph. Now when H1 was there, it was working. When we added the paragraph, error came. To overcome from that problem, we follow the rule of the JSX. JSX rule is first rule. If in a page more than one tag you have, then you must keep inside a parent tag. So now division becomes a parent tag. Let us look into the browser. We can see here, my page need to reload, maybe. Okay. Okay, so now it is working, right? बोलो यार, I can hear. Other number you can call. Info campus number is there. 88841 call to that. एक साल का पेड एक्सपीरियंस लगाना होगा, एक साल का एक्सपीरियंस लगाना होगा तब जाकर मिलेगा. फोन पे नहीं बताएंगे, आपको आना होगा एक्सपीरियंस में. ठीक चलेगा. Okay, next after that you saw here more than one tag once we added, then it started working. Now after that come there. So this is the rule number one of which one? JSX. JSX rule number one, what is that? in one component, in one file, if you have more than one element, then you have to use the parent tag. And it should look like as a parent and child, then only it will work. So division we added, it is working, there is no problem at all. Okay. Let's add one more paragraph and then see what is that. Next paragraph we can add something. Okay, let me add one more paragraph. Keep as something. Right. So you add one paragraph, 10 paragraph, no problem at all. Whenever you add a new paragraph, it will work properly. It will work properly and it will show you the list of data. You can see here all 4 paragraphs are coming loaded automatically. Now see the tag you have made as a parent tag, you have made as a division. So it is not necessary always the parent tag will be division only. Parent tag will be, it can be anything. It can be user defined tag also, or it can be predefined tag also. So div is not a predefined, a user defined tag. It is a predefined tag. Okay, at the place of div, you can write some other tag also. Maybe suppose if I use here a user defined tag called hello. Hello open and hello close. Hello open and hello close. Now save this file. Check now how the hello is working. Hello added. Save, no difference. There's no problem. It is working as usual. You can reload manually also and check it. So there is no problem. So what it represent? It represent like if we have created a user defined tag, then also it work. If we have created a predefined tag, then also it work. Okay. So when you create a user defined tag, it is not HTML. It is called the XHTML, extensible hypertext markup language. So their tag is created by you. Tag is not created by someone else. You have created the tag. Hello open, hello close. Right. Next, after this, so first rule is what we have follow. If we have only one tag, we use it as just this one. It was working. When we added more than one tag, then problem start coming. Then we added that division as a parent tag. Now instead of division, we added our own tag that is called as a hello. Okay. So if you don't want to put any predefined tag, you can keep here as the empty tag also. Empty tag open and empty tag as a close. Empty tag open, empty tag close. Then also you will find there is no problem, it is working well. Okay, so parent tag we can create using total how many methods? 3 methods. One is through the predefined tag, another one is called user defined tag, another one is through the empty tag. Okay. One more option we have. Okay, so you keep here again a square bracket. That is called array element. And after every tag, you put a comma, just like in the array. After every tag, put a comma, like in the array. Now also it will work. Okay, ready? Check now in the browser. No error. Output remain same. So how many methods we found? Total 4 methods. Go to developer guide. Copy this line. Paste inside. Type of JSX. How many way we can write the JSX? This is the third method, fourth method, right? This is the fourth method. Before that, we have the third method. Inside third method, you will keep everything similar, but here you will add the parent tag as a empty tag. Empty tag open and empty tag close. Here a square bracket open, a square bracket close. ABC open, ABC close. Write this three, then we can write the first one. Okay, so hope 2, 3, 4 you have written. Now come for the first one. You can copy the same section and you can paste here. Give open, give close. Ready? Now come right on the top. What is JSX? What is JSX? First, JSX full form is JavaScript and XML. JavaScript and XML. Okay. JavaScript and XML is nothing but full form of JSX. The JSX come from where? JSX come from here. We have to write the HTML code. We have to write the XHTML code. We have to write the JavaScript code. HTML plus XML plus JavaScript will be called as a JSX. JSX is nothing extra. It is just like your HTML tag only. HTML and JavaScript you are going to combine in React.js. That's called as JSX. But while combining, we have to remember this also XHTML. We can create our own tag. For example, you saw here, hello, you created a tag. It is working. Similar way below, empty we given a tag, that is what working. Below we are given as a square bracket as a tag, that is also working. So total how many ways? 4 ways. Using 4 ways we can write the JSX. Using 4 ways we can write the JSX. So here JSX is nothing but it has come from the HTML, XHTML and JavaScript. We'll mix all together, it will become a JSX. Why we require to learn the JSX? Because under the React, each and every line is written using the JSX.
Sir,
Tell me, sir.
sir, what is XHTML?
XHTML, user defined
Yes.
tags. You have created here ABC, no? ABC. So this becomes a XHTML. User defined tag. If we are creating our own tag, that is called as XHTML. Extensible. Extensible meaning is created by us. We have created the tag. So you can write any tag name. The rule regulation is tag name should start with the lowercase, close by lowercase. If it is starting with the uppercase, close by uppercase. Okay. Tag name can be anything. ABC, XYZ, hello, mobile, open, mobile, close, name, open, name, close. Anything can be tag name. So if you are writing our own tag, then it is called as a XHTML. You saw, no, ABC was working. ABC we have opened, ABC we have closed. So that was also coming in the browser. That is called as JSX. That is called the XHTML. And combination of XHTML with the JavaScript will be called as JSX. So that is called XML, HTML, XHTML, and after that JavaScript. Okay. User-defined tags are called as XHTML. Whichever the tag we create manually. Okay, 1 minute. Pause. Next, after that, right below in React.js, there is a word called component. Component. So component meaning is what? You can see this file. We have one file app.js. Till now HTML we have gone through, CSS, Bootstrap you saw. So when you create a different file, you give the file name called login.html, about.html, register.html, home.html. In Bootstrap you have seen. Now in React.js you are not going to create a file as a .html. You are going to create a file as a .js. File extension will be .js. And under the JavaScript file we can write HTML and JavaScript code together. It will be easier than your JavaScript. Very, very easy. You can see. See here, this file is, let me convert into this method. You can also convert into this method. Date. Go here. In this file, what we have written here, remove that, replace by this. Convert into division. Now after that, when we write the JavaScript function, how we write? Function name, curly bracket, open, close. And inside function, you write so many loop map function here, there. Correct? You have not written the HTML like this before. We have written. Under JavaScript function, we have never written the HTML directly. But in React.js, you are going to do the same. JavaScript code and HTML code you can write together. Okay. You don't have to open so many times double quote and close double quote. You saw HTML code is directly inside the function. This is function is of what? JavaScript only, no? Inside the JavaScript function directly what we have written? HTML code we have written. So that only in the JavaScript we can write directly function, and under the function we can write JavaScript code, HTML code easily. You don't have to do plus plus, data plus plus, and single quote and double quote. That all JavaScript story you remember. If you want to remember, I will open a file and I will show you something like this. Let me go here to a folder. I can go to any folder somewhere. Let me go here to your JavaScript data binding folder, advanced folder is also there. Nested array. This code, if I go to nested array, can you see here? JavaScript code is here. Under JavaScript, you have written the division. How you have written? Inside the double quote, single quote, so many complexities are here. But when you look under this code, JavaScript function is as usual, and HTML code is written directly. There is no double quote and single quote. So compared to your JavaScript, your React JS is easy. Okay. In this, you are not going to write the double quote and single quote again and again and many times. It's a lot of easier than JavaScript. Okay, but in this also complexity is there. It is not like it's so simple. It is complex as well. React JS is a huge demand. They are huge demand. You can't expect like that. The companies are like searching with back where I can find the React JS developer. If I can find the React JS developer, I will put in bag and bring in the company. Okay, that way the companies are searching React JS developer. Okay, and we are not able to up to 2 year experience. For React JS developer companies are ready to pay 20 lakh rupees up to 2 year experience. Yesterday one call came from Acharya. Acharya you have medical college here. Acharya University, something medical college is there. They have their own development center. From their own call came, they were asking like we require 8 React developer, Java developer, Python developer, 1 Python developer, 2 Java developer, and 7, 8 React developer. Anyhow, bring from anywhere and give us. Without experienced people are not there. Then it said give at least fresher also. The fresher people are getting job. Then they started demanding we can give for 2 years experience, we can give up to 20 lakh. Okay. Then I quoted okay, up to 2 year experience, you pay 25 lakh rupees, I will bring from somewhere and I'll give you. Okay. So he said give some time, we'll discuss and let you know. Finally they said like okay, we have some developer, Java developer, they are not performing well in React. So we will give you, you train him within 1 month React at least and send us back. So next 2-3 days their Java developer will attend our online class. React developer. Okay, and they are up to 2 year experience, 15 lakh there's an open saying. Openly they said from their mouth, okay, up to 15 lakh we are ready to give. Okay, I don't know, 15 lakh will not work out for 2 year experience. You have to, the markets are hiring, but there is a huge salary demand from the developer side. So if you are okay, let's arrange, keep your budget up to 25 lakh for every per annum for the 2.5 year, 2 to 3 year experience people. We can arrange from somewhere and we'll give you 2.5 years. Then they said, okay, up to 15 lakh is our budget, more than that, difficult. Okay. So better than that, train our people. Okay, work will be little slow, but train them. So one person came to the Manikant. He was somewhere 16 or 14 pass out. He put some experience from somewhere. 1.5 year experience he put. One of largest company offer him some 8-9 lakh rupees. Okay. And he was saying like in interview, he asked only few questions. Few means few questions. Within 15-minute interview is over. Okay. Basic something here there they ask and says okay done. And night I saw 8 o'clock proper letter came to the email. Okay. Huh? TCS, yeah. TCS earlier, this MNC companies are not hiring less than 3 years. Okay. We have a record. The company was not hiring less than 3 years before, 3 years till 2019. They were hiring after 3 years experience only. They are experienced developer. Developer means after 3 years. Okay, MNC. Now MNC have no manpower. Up to 1 year experience also, they change their entire policy. They say like we have made an entry level position. So they are 1 year, 2 year developer. Okay. From 6 months onwards, they are hiring a experience entry level developer. Because demand is more and supply is less. Okay. If we spend better time and learn properly, whatever you learn in the syllabus, if you remember, guarantee 2 interview will be enough for you. You can get the chance easily. In 2 interview only, not more than that. 2 interview. What you learn in the syllabus, if you remember that, then 2 interview will be enough for you. But if you forget that, then don't know. So spend proper time. BCA graduate, any graduate is fine. Here, any graduate I'm talking, any graduate. Recently, one of our one person has got job MBA. She has done in the 13. After that, she worked somewhere here there. She attended online class 2-3 days before she got job in HCL. So demand is more now. Learn properly, you will get chance. There is nothing difficult. Okay, let's go ahead. So what we did, we created a component, and inside a component, component I'm talking, we have a file called JavaScript file. Inside the JavaScript file, we have a function, and inside the function, just blindly we wrote HTML code, and it come in the browser. So as I was saying, right, in before this, like you have learned HTML, CSS, and all. There, when we used to create the file, our file extension was what? HTML. HTML was the file extension, but in React, you are not going to create the file as a .html. Your code will be HTML only, but file extension will be .js. File extension will be .javascript. Okay, JS extension. Okay. Now, so this the function you can see app function. The function name is called app function. It is not JavaScript code. See this code, what you are saying, it is not a JavaScript code. Okay, what is that? It is called a JSX. JSX. Here in the developer guide, you can see developer guide. You can see where is that? Here in developer guide, you can see what we are written. JSX come from where? JSX come from the HTML, XML, and then JavaScript. Okay. In this code, you can see in this code we have written as of now which one? Only HTML code we have written. So instead of that, before that also you saw you have written hello, and after that it was working. Now instead of hello, I wrote as a ABC. Correct? You saw ABC. Now what will happen is this will also work. So this ABC becomes a user-defined tag. H1 paragraph become as a predefined tag. Okay. So you can say combined of HTML tag, predefined and user-defined tag, right? And plus your JavaScript code, all if you mix together, then it will give you this one. Which one? College JSX. But what code you have written as of now, this code you have written, it is based on rule of XML. See, if I remove this ABC, then it will throw a very blunder, a big error. See, if I remove this, you can see this page will give the error. Okay, let me come to the browser and show you what is going to happen. Browser is showing error or not. See, only one paragraph displayed. Remaining paragraph is not coming. So solution is here, comma I have given, comma, 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 and comma. It was considering as an array. Now see, when we have given the multiple paragraph, multiple element without parent, right? What will happen? Error came here. Error came here. Error came here. So in this case, you can write the predefined tag also, and you can write user defined tag also. Just 1 minute, one international college coming. Hello. Yeah. Hello. Yes. Hello. Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. This call regards what? Oh, sorry, brother. You just called the wrong number. Please try something else. Okay, now let's go ahead. I will use here a predefined tag also, and I can use a user defined tag also. As you saw, so what we did, I follow a user defined tag now, predefined tag now. After that, this code will work properly. Okay, this code will work properly. Now, after that, you can see here. After that, you can see here what is happening is it is going to work properly. Let me see. Now, error is gone. Error is gone. There is no error at all, right? Okay. Next, after that, then you will ask this up to here I am able to understand, but last line I am not able to understand. Export, default, and which one? But if I cut this much, or maybe let it be this much, what is the app? App, you can see what is that app here? App is the name of the function. It's the name of the function only, no? App. Here, app is the name of a function. App is the name of the function. Now, before app, what is applied? Applied called export. We have keyword called import and export. Okay. See, in day-to-day life, if you use somewhere called import, what this meaning represent? Import what represent? Import represent bringing or sending. What represent? Import represent bringing or sending. Bringing. Import meaning is bring. Call, right? Include. That is called what? Import. Okay. So suppose if we say we have India has imported multiple you can say missile system from the Russia. That meaning is what? India has not sent it. India has bring it. India has received it. Now, from where? From the somewhere else. Now, suppose India want to receive, India want to import, but Russia don't want to export. If the Russia don't want to export, will India import or not? Suppose you don't want to sell your laptop, I cannot buy it. If you want to sell, then only someone can buy. That word is here. That word here called what? Export. Export meaning is sending. Export meaning is sending. Okay. So two word you have in the React, in everywhere you will find import and export. Import and export. Now in this file you have a function called app. You have a function called app. So if you remember JavaScript, in one file how many functions we can write? One function or multiple function? In one file we can write multiple functions. Similar way here, this is a file app.js file. Inside the app.js file there is a function called app. App function is there. Okay. Now concept will be from inside the app, is it possible to write some more functions? Yes, we can write, because function one is called app. We can write one more function called contact. We can write one more function called about. We can write one more function called login. Multiple function we can write in this file. Okay, and each function will work according to what you will write inside. Okay. So the React JS is like, suppose in your project there will be a lot of functionality. So inside the React, if suppose there is a lot of functionality, then will you write all functionality in one page? No. How can you write entire project functionality in one page? You have to create different pages for login file, for register file, for the dashboard file, for user list a separate file, for adding the user as a separate file, adding the product separate file, listing the product separate. That meaning inside one project there will be multiple pages, and when multiple pages will come in one project, then you cannot display all the page at the same time. When you go to the Gmail will display all the pages or only one page. Only one page. That is called your inbox. But there is an option, click, compose will come, click send will come, click trash will come, Pages are there, but according to click, it will open. Here the matter is to discuss about import and export. Okay. Import says like import keyword defined inside the React. Inside the React, import keyword defined. Import keyword used to import a function, import a class. Import meaning is what? Again bringing, again calling. And export keyword defined that this particular function is able to import. Now suppose we have a function here called export. Before that, the function name is called app. Now before app is written called as a export. It represents the function app anyone can import. If we remove this function, if we remove this export, that meaning the function app no one can import. It is exact same. You have something you want to sell, then only someone can buy. So you are ready to sell, that meaning you have made it export. Someone can buy, that meaning he is going to import. Okay. So in this file we have a function. So the function we can use again and again in multiple places. So wherever you want to use this function, you can import the function directly. Okay. But before that, before importing, what should be the condition? The function should be able to import. If the function is able to import, then only you can import it. If the function is not able to import, how can you import it? So the question is how to make it importable. So before the function name, apply the keyword called export. If you apply the keyword called export, then your function will be importable. If you will not apply the keyword called export, your function will not be importable. So import meaning is what again? Bringing. Export meaning is what? Sending. Or we can say able to import. Able to import. Making as able to import. Okay. Now suppose this function you have written here. Function name is called app.js file. Definitely somewhere app.js file is calling, then only output is reflecting in the browser. Output is reflecting in the browser here. Someone will import this app function, then only output will reflect. Now let me show you where is the import. Go to your file. You have a file called index.js. Click on that and open that file. Click on that and open that file. Function name is called index.js. File name is called index.js. Index.js. Now look at here. I have modified two lines in that just to explain you. Your lines is something like this. In your page, the line is something like this. Maybe some extra code will be there. The commented code I have removed. So look at here. Your line is also like this. Import which one? App from where? Dot app. Okay. So I will make it more clear. Import app. So import app, what is that meaning is we are going to call the app. Now app can be a function name also, app can be a class name also. Okay. Now import app from where? App.js file. You can keep .js, it will make you more sense. Import which one? App from where? App.js file. Now app.js file is a separate file. And who is importing? Index.js is importing, right? So at this place, import says call. Whom? A function name is called app, where it is under the app.js file. When you look into the app.js file says, I have a function called app. Whoever want to call me, they can call me because I am able to importable because of before me there is a export keyword is applied. Okay. So until unless you will not apply the export, you are not going to import anywhere. Okay. Those are the limitation where under the React. To import something, we must have to apply a export. Now come to the main point. If anyone asking what is the import and what is the export, what is the difference between import and export? That way people ask. People ask the question, what is the difference between import and export? Or what is the import and export? Okay. So if anyone asks what is the import and export, we can say I have inside the React, whenever we create a file, whenever we create a function, we have to use that file and function different places. So that function, we apply a keyword called export. Export, once we apply, that meaning the function is able to call by anyone. Now, wherever we want to call the function, we will apply the keyword called import. Import used to call and export able to make callable. Means someone can call it when if the export keyword is applied. Import will help you to import the file from within the folder also and other folder also. Export, once you applied, that meaning your function and variable or your class name is able to call by anyone. It's become a public. Assume it's become a public. Anyone can import it anywhere inside the project. If you will not apply the export, then no one can import the particular function. Then you will ask one more keyword is there called as a default. What is the default keyword? Definitely, default keyword is applied here, keeping in mind saying like in one file there will be multiple functions. Okay, export default keyword is applied here. React says like there will be a requirement in one file you have to write multiple function also. So out of multiple function, which is the leading function, which is the main function. Okay, so in this file, app.js file, we have written a function called app. Now inside that there may be a function called contact, there may be a function called about, there may be a function called login and all. So out of all, you have to tell to the React saying like, this is the default one. That meaning this is the leading function. This is the main function. Remaining all are child function. So whichever the function is the main function, in front of that, what will apply? Default. And after that, since we are going to call somewhere else, so we have to apply the keyword called export. So two keyword is applied. What is that? Export, default, and then function. So export default, export represent, we are going to import somewhere. Default represent, this is the main function, and app is the name of your function. Instead of app, it can be anything. It is not necessary, only it will be as a app. Okay. So hope clear till here. Now come to the index.js file. In index.js file, you have one line is written here. I have modified that line little just to convince you. You have one more extra line written called restrict mode. React.restrict mode is written, right? Okay. In my case, I have removed that restrict mode. Okay, just to guide you. Now let's look at this. You can also remove the restrict mode and just make like this. Restrict mode is for certain cases. If you remove restrict mode, okay, let's make like this. Make like this, you will understand easily. Later you can do the control Z and you can apply again. So, okay, now look next. Modified restrict mode. Delete that two line. Open and close, you can remove that. Keep only app open. Okay. Now after that, understand this line. Okay. What is that? So what is the app here? Import app. What is that? Is the function name or file name? Here is the file name. Yeah. App.js is the file name. What is the function name? App. We can change also. Okay, but let it be different. Now app. In this line, so function we called from which file? From the app.js file. Inside the function something you have written. Look at here. Inside the function you have written something here, division, paragraph and all. And this function is saying as a return. Return means whoever will call the function app, he will get this much. Where to where? Division to division. Anyone can call this function, and whoever will call the function, they will get as a return this much, as a response. When you send the request to this function, function app please come. App function will come as a response what? Division to division, multiple paragraph. Okay. So the return is nothing but the content of the function. Wherever you want to call, you can call it. Every time this function will give you division to division and multiple paragraph. That is the return statement, the output of this function. Okay. When I come to the this file, app.js file, I can see here app we are calling from app.js file, and after that this line if you have modified. So next understand the render meaning is what? Render. In React.js, to print the output in the browser, we use a function called render. In React.js to print some kind of output, HTML, division, CSS and all. If you want to print any output in the browser, you have to use the function called which one? Render. Okay. Now render function need two parameters. Render function need two parameters. Let me write here one line. It may helpful for you. See, function name is what? App function. I'm talking the JavaScript. In JavaScript, when we call a function, we call like this app, and after app we have to give this something like this. This is called as a function calling, where under the JavaScript. But in JSX, you are using now JSX. Under the JSX, the function calling is just like this. App. Under JSX. The function calling in JavaScript happen like this. In React.js, the function calling is happen like this. Now see here. Render function says like I need two parameters. The first parameter content and second parameter location. Okay. Render function says I need two parameters. The first parameter the content and second parameter is a location. The content can be division, can be paragraph, can be H1, H2, anything. And the location can be particular where you want to print. Look at here. The first parameter is, there is a comma in between, you can see. The first parameter is called content and second parameter is called as a location. Now, at the place of content, what you are calling? Function you are calling? Let me remove this. Just to see once. H1, I will write here called hi. 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 And I remove this one. Look at there. Now, this becomes a content. Before that, it was looking like something odd. Now look at here. I have written as a hi. Hi. How are you? So under the H1, what it will hold? Hi, how are you? So this becomes a content and this becomes a location. On this location, this content will get printed. Or another way you can say, what to print. The render function says what to print. First parameter is what to print. And second parameter where to print. What and where. Or you can say content and location. The first one is what? Content. And second one is location. So content I have given now as a H1 and location is called as what? Root. We have already aware of document.getElement by ID, root.innerHTML. If I write here document.getElement by ID, root.innerHTML equal to H1. So what it will print? There will be somewhere a division ID called as a root. Inside the root H1 will get printed. Same thing is happening here also. We have a HTML file Inside the HTML file, there is a division. For that division, ID is called root. Inside that division, H1 will be sent. Okay, as how? Inner HTML. Let me show you in the browser. Look at here. Hi, how are you? Printing. That meaning it is clear. Yes, the first render method, render function is taking React.render taking the first method as a content and second as a location. So content you saw. Now I will show you the location. Where is the location? Content you saw. Next I will show you the location. Modify. Don't modify. Just see that this file is not need to modify. Okay. This file no need to modify. This is the default file. We should not touch this. So content you saw, the first parameter is content, second parameter is the location. Now let's show you the location. Go to your public folder. Go to your public folder. You will find a file called index.html. Click on that. Go to your public folder. You will find a file called index.html. Click on that. Find index.html. Come inside the index.html. See there under the body, there is a div. And what is the ID of that? ID is called root. So from which file? From index.js file is content sending to where? Index.html file. From index.js file, it is sending the content to index.html file. So under the index.html file, there is the division. Division ID is called root. Inside the root, who is sending the content? Render function is sending the content, saying like the first parameter is called content and second parameter is called location. So hope this flow is clear. Public.html is getting the data from where? Sorry, index.html is getting the data from where? Index.js. Okay, in that, which function is sending that? Render function. Render function has first parameter as a content. Second parameter is called location. Now at the place of content here, see you have written only H1 here. So here how many lines you can write? 1 line, 2 line maximum. You cannot write lot of line. No? So what we do, instead of writing as a H1, why can't we call the function here directly? So which is the function name? App. So that app function is called here. So inside the app, what is coming? Division, paragraph, and many more things are coming. Now, under the app.js file, under the app.js file, whichever the content we have, it is coming under the app function, and app function we send as a content. So app function becomes a content, and location becomes a what? Root. So under the root division, the app function will send the data directly, and that is coming from where? App.js. Okay, this flow is important to understand. Then only you will get to know. Okay, now tell me indirectly. Let me go here. If I write this line, as a user, we have opened the browser. Okay, browser. This browser is getting the data from which file? Browser is getting the data from which file? Index.html. And this index.html is getting the data from where? Index.js. And index.js is getting the data from where? App.js. 100% correct. So app.js is sending the data to index.js. Index.js is sending to where? Index.html. And index.html is sending to browser. And user is waiting in front of the browser. So this is the default structure of your React, where file is ready. Once you compile, it will give the different output. Again, I need to reload the page. My system is a little slow. See, welcome to React. Hope the flow is clear. This line you saw in app.js file, you have written the content. From app.js file, you exported the content to where? Which file? app.js. In app.js, we imported the content. From where? App.js. Now that content what we have imported, that content we send to where? Render. Now render will send to where? Root. In which file? Index.html. So total 3 files are under the loop. App.js is exporting the data to index.js. Index.js is importing the data from where? App.js. And index.js is sending the data to where? Index.html. And from there it's come to the browser directly. Okay, go next. Now we will understand if we want to create our own file, then how that will work. See, already one flow is ready. App is dealing with where? Index. Yes or no? Only listener, only they are listening. Don't reflect. See how much I spoke. App is talking to whom? App is talking to index. On basis of what? Import and export. App is exporting the data to where? Look at here. App is exporting the data to where? Index. Now import is, there is a two way you can say. App is exporting the data to index, or index is importing the data from app. But in case if the app will refuse to export, index cannot import. Import is based on export. Okay, you can relate to your day-to-day life. Import meaning bringing, export meaning is sending. Okay, if someone will not send, how can you bring? If you want to bring but he will not send, you cannot bring it out. Okay, so import is based on export only. If export is there, then only import will happen. Okay, so app.js is exporting the data to where? Index. But we can say import is also, sorry, index is also importing the data from app. Okay, and finally index, after importing the data as a function, JSX element, okay, as a function, the index.js has sent that content to root. In which file? Index.html. Now when we will create our own file, what we will do is, we will not go and talk to the index directly. We will create a file, and that file we will give to app. App is already going to the index. App already going to index. No need to go again to the index. You create a new file and send import under the where? App. App will go to the index. Right? We'll create a test file and we'll see whether it's happening or not. Okay. Okay. Now come. Create a file called user.js. In which folder? SRC folder. Create a file called user.js. Create a file user.js. In HTML, we used to create user.html, but now we are creating user.js. User.html. We have to create user.js. Okay. In user.js, write a function. How we write the function? Exactly same. Function name user list, or maybe my user. My user, capital. Function name start with the capital. My user. Inside the my user function, right here called return. Okay. And as per the JSX rule, don't write directly. Open the division, close the division. Write inside here. Okay, write inside here one H1. Write called user list, and write a paragraph. Put inside user is working. Write called user is working. Hope you are creating the file. User is working. Now come down below. This function, what you have written, this function we are not going to use in the current file. This function we are going to use somewhere else. Now, if you want to use this function somewhere else, then what do you have to do? You have to export. Then someone can import. Without exporting, someone cannot import it, right? So the function name is my user and file name is what? User. So if someone want to import the function, they have to write import my user from user.js file. Import my user from where? User.js file. Because my user is the function and file name is the user. Okay, let's write here. Make it exportable. Right here called export default. What is the function name? My user, definitely. Save it. Okay. Hope you have written. So we are going to export this. We have written in one file and we are going to export this function to where? App. App is already dealing with the index and index is dealing with the browser. That flow we are not going to cut. Let the app to talk. Now along with the app, we will send one more function. That is called my user. So wherever the app will go, there my user will also go. I will share you the code. Now after that, code is there. Okay. Next, after that, come to the app.js file. Inside the app.js file, you are going to import. What you will import? Function name. What is the function name? My user. From where? User.js. But here one question will come. Where is the user.js? Within the folder or outside of the folder? Within the folder. If it is inside the folder, // is required. Okay. If it is inside the folder, in the same folder, then // is required. /user.js can write. /user.js. Save it. Import my user from /user.js. / in the sense what? Same folder, current folder. So in src folder only, there is a file called user.js. Import that. Import my user from user.js. After importing, so my user is the function name or file name. My user is the
function name.
Function name. User is the file name. Purposefully I have given different. Okay. User is the file name and my user is the function. Okay. So whenever you import, you are not importing the file name. You are importing the function name. Okay. So we have imported my user from where? User.js. Under the user.js, there is a function. That function will give you something that is the default exportable. Whoever wants, they can export it. So for that, we have to write import function name from file name. Now where is the file? We have to give the path. So file is in current folder. So we are given // Now come down. These two paragraphs are there. Remove that. In app.js file, you saw how to call a function in JSX. I will show you again. Look at here. In index.js file, in JavaScript, we call the function like this. JavaScript, we call the function like this. In the JSX, how we call the function? We call like this. Just like the BR tag, remember? BRHR, right? Similar way now, you will go to the where? App.js. Already function is imported on the top. At this place, within the division only, like the BR tag, you can write for my user. Give the slash symbol last. Inside the save this, save the file, look into your browser. User list is fine. Save the file, look into the browser. Save the file, look into the browser. See here, it shows user list.
Yes, sir.
Welcome React user list 2 options. Just like the BR you are calling, like the BR, HR. Error. Working. You can create one more file quickly. We'll have some more example. We'll get some more exercise. Let's create one more file. Okay. Give the file name called book.js. In which folder? SRC folder. Give the file name as a book.js. Book.js. Okay. And go to the book.js. Right inside a function my book. I'll give here again different. My book. My book. Okay. You will write there return. Return. Open a division. Close the division. Write the H1 book list. Yes. In a paragraph, you can write book list is working. Now, down below, after the function, you can write here again. Export default. Export default. Okay, hope ready. Come to the app.js file again. In app.js file, you can import again which file, which function?
My book.
My book from book.js file. Something like this. And again, after user, you can write here call my book. My book. Save it. It will go better. Check in the browser, it's calling or not. It's welcome is working, user is still working. So here, my user you have called how many times? One time or many times? Error. Working. My book we called how many times? Only one time.
One time.
What will happen if you call 5-6 times? The first definition of React is React give reusable component, reusability of the component. What file you have created, user and books call as a component. In the React.js, all the files will be called as a component. So we created 2 components. Okay. So if you read on internet, people say blindly React give reusability component. Component for reusable. Write once and use many times. Okay. Now suppose my book is the function. JavaScript, you remember one function we can call many times. Similar way, we can go here and my book I can write 3-4 times. Suppose my book, my book, my book, and my book. So it's become a reusability or not? Become a reusability. So one function we wrote and called how many times? Many times. You can also copy paste 4-5 times and check one. Same function is calling again and again or not. That is called a reusability. Right? See, book list is working. Coming so many times. So it is just like we wrote once, we made once, and we are using again and again. That is called a reusability. Written once and using again. So hope it is working for all. You understood the flow, how to create the file and how to import the file. Now import meaning is what? 2 files you created, no? My user and my book. You are creating one different file and you are importing in different file. The meaning of import is that only. Okay. We will sit again tomorrow and I will guide you tomorrow. Data flow diagram of React, the architecture of React. What is the architecture of React? What is the internal structure? How data flow will happen? And after designing the photo, we will start working on component, creating the component and writing the CSS, designing the template and using the reusable, start using the reusability of the components one by one. Within 2-3 days, you will become completely stable and full. Okay, so see you tomorrow.